Okay, so once students were done with the exploration here, I would have them go ahead and unclick the pen. They would move down to the forest. Have them go ahead and click the pin up as well as these 3 photos, and then they can travel there. We'll take this away for right now. Okay, so now that they're here, we'd have them explore these 3 photos that have been marked, the 3 locations. So 1, 2, and there are 2 photos of this one. And then the last one. And while they were exploring these locations, I would have them answer 2 questions. The first one would be, what do the surroundings look like? So I would have them make observations of the surroundings of these photographs. And then I would also ask them if they think they would find people living in this area and why or why not. So once I allowed them time to do that, we would go ahead and click back on the pen and we would go to the hyperlink. Okay, this would bring them to information about this area, which is the Uinta Mountain Range. And this is particularly on the basin. However, it talks about both the basin and the mountains. So I would go ahead and have them read through this page and think if they can add any more information to the 2 questions that were asked previous, so about the surroundings and about people potentially living there. After doing the reading, I would have the students go back to Google Earth and I would ask them to make predictions about what kinds of art would be found in this area. So they would be answering questions like, what resources does this environment have, as well as what kinds of arts would you expect to come from this area. After students answered those questions, we would click on the pen again and I would show them the picture of this cabin and the picture of this cabin. And the first question I would ask them now is, are these art? Are both of these cabins considered art, and why or why not? I would allow students time to respond to that and then have them share their thoughts with a partner and then potentially with the class. And I would ask them this question because one of the big resources in this area is trees. And obviously to build a log cabin you would need trees. And so I don't think that students would necessarily consider these art, however, in many cases they are. So once we had that discussion, then I would have students go ahead and look at the resources again, so maybe if they wanted to click on some of the pictures again, they could, and determine how many people they think would live in this area and why. And then once students explored that, we would end this exploration and we would call this area, so the Uinta Mountains, would be considered our forest.